The next panel discussion to attend. Please come on stage.
Hello, everybody. Next panel discussion is about the regional Hungarian venture capital investment and sharing ideas and experience. Just quickly introduction of the members of the discussion. Obviously, one common thing is that, well, we all claim that we do something excellent. That Mr. Soros said that is not his strength, so it's pretty puts all of us in a kind of pressure now. But I'm sure that we'll deal with that. Just a quick introduction. András Szombati is a partner at Primus Capital. He has a strong VC investment background, joined Primus in 2007 as partner. Before he was leading the VC arm of Concord. Ákos Németh is investment director of Bonitás Venture Capital Fund Management Company, the newest recently established company among the four fund management company represented here. Ivan Halász is investment director and partner at Finex Startup. They started operation with the Jeremie-program in 2010. He represents the largest Jeremie fund, and his private experience is coming from the VC. He used to be with the Euroventures here in Budapest. Dr. Sándor Erdei is chairman and CEO of TBH Group. They offer a complex variety for startups, not only investments, but they do flexible business services and other business-related services to their portfolio. Can I ask just quickly add a few sentences from everybody, mainly about the fund management company that you represent, and what's maybe you can name a few of your flagship investments and the industry that you focus in. András, can you please start?
I think you already know Primus Capital. We've been on the market for the last 3 years. We are managing a Jeremie fund in the amount of 6.2 billion. Now we have 9 investments. We are quite active on the field of biotech, on the field of IT, and last year was quite an intensive year for us. We did 3 new investments, 2 follow-on investments, and I think for this year, it's going to be much more comfortable because we have already allocated most of our funds to certain investments. So now it's time to focus on the portfolio companies. So that's going to be the hard time.
Okay. Ákos Németh. I represent the Bonafarm Group, which is the private investor into our fund, Bonitás. Bonafarm is a well-known group of companies. They invested billions of euro into the agriculture and food processing in Hungary in several companies. And Bonitás is an investment arm of that group.
So I'm Ivan Halász, I represent Finex. We're also a Jeremie 1 fund. We've been active since 2010. To date, we have 9 portfolio companies, and our investment strategy really rests on 2 legs. One is a very technology-oriented leg in industries where we see that there's significant change, and technology can be something that harnesses this change and actually disrupts. And the other one leg that we have is a service-oriented, retail-oriented investment activity, and it's on these 2 platforms that we try to build our investments in our portfolio.
DBH was set up something like almost 20 years ago in the Netherlands, so I was very happy to hear the Eindhoven region presentations because it's our home base. They've been set up there in Maastricht, and we have got, as András said, 3 different activities. One is venture capital, what we do actually since 1999 from the Netherlands, but since 1998 we have got our own Hungarian fund management company and also fund since 2010. And the other 2 legs are flexible business space and consultancy services. So we do provide a special model for SMEs. As far as the venture capital fund is concerned, we are also Jeremie-1 fund. We invested so far about 65 to 70% of our fund. We have to also finish all the investments by the end of the year. Last year was a very hectic one for us because we had to look back for those years, 2010 and 11, when we did most of our investments, and we had to, in some aspects, restructure some of the investments, involve more capital into some of the investments from outside, and also in the meantime, go on and invest in new projects. So 2012 was very hectic. 2013 will be as hectic as the year before, but we hope to comply with all the rules of Jeremie and finish all the fund exposure this year.
Well, just quickly summarizing the Jeremie-program's number, from Jeremie source combined with private capital sources, the program started in 2010, and all of a sudden, roughly 150 million euros arrived and became available for startup companies. 8 new funds started operation with relatively the same purpose. Most of them has been managed by relatively new fund management groups. So that was really an impressive amount of money that became available relatively quick. The programs continued end of 2012, and roughly the same amount of money again, about 140 million euros arrived to the Hungarian market, and 10 new funds started again, something very similar in terms of allocating this capital. I just want to go quickly through again that how you feel that this large amount of capital has been raising the quality of the pipeline, or actually had a negative effect because it was too easily available money. So just could you please have a feedback on your impression on the quality of the ideas, the teams that you are meeting with, and the business models that you plan to invest? András.
I think for all of us the figures are quite high. I think if we dig into our pipeline and go back to the past, I think it's more than 500 companies that we actually were on our watch list, and coming down the pipeline, I think out of that roughly I think 20 was the number where we made a more detailed due diligence, and out of the 20 we issued actually 12 or 13 term sheets, I don't remember exactly now, and out of those we made the 9 investments. So this tells you that I think there is a demand for venture capital investments. I think if we sat here in 99, I think actually we would face the problem that many entrepreneurs would ask us the question that where is venture capital? Now venture capital money is available. I think the overall quality of the projects that we look is quite standard. I think it's very similar to neighboring countries. I don't really see a big difference. There are some, certain aspects like management quality, which I think we're gonna talk about a bit later, could cause a bit more problem. But overall, I feel that the pipeline we developed during the last 2 years is quite strong, and we hope we make good investment. I don't think the Hungarian market would be especially difficult. The question which comes afterwards is that can we sustain this market? Are there more investment opportunities looking for investment? Because, as you know, Jeremie-1 is followed by Jeremie-2 and Jeremie-3. So the question is, can we really develop a sector which is doing well, growing fine, and is able to attract VC on a longer basis?
Ákos, you started operations recently in the last half a year. Did the Jeremie-1 investors took all the great possibilities or anything left to you?
Yeah, our fund belongs to the so-called Jeremie-2 round. And what we have experienced until so far is that since March the 7th, when we started operations, there were about 60, 70 companies on our radar screen. And most of them belong to the so-called startup phase companies. So we did not have enough firms which were quite nice for us, just about 10 or 11. And what we think that the Jeremie-1 funds so-called picked the beautiful ones, and there should be some time to come when the market will recreate itself, and we hope that next year we are going to meet enough nice targets.
Mm-hmm.
So I can confirm that there's very, very many different deals and opportunities on the market. We also saw 500-600 or I don't know, so a big number were going on. But when you really look through the deal flow, then you notice that the quality of these deals continues to be relatively weak. So what we find on the market is that the few good companies that there are, a lot of the different private equity and I guess most of the Jeremie funds are fighting for it, which raises an interesting question, because since the number of companies are relatively limited, if you end up paying too high a price for these companies, then the end result can be suboptimal from an investment perspective. So the answer is that there's a lot of opportunities. That said, the opportunities which are of interest seem to be rather limited, and there's quite a bit of competition. I can say that from our portfolio, the majority of the ones that we've invested in, we had to compete for, and there's quite a few that could have been in our portfolio but are not, because some of our other Jeremie peers have won it. So that's on the one side. But on the other side, the fact that so much money has appeared on this market has really boosted the whole, I guess, to join the terminology, the ecosystem of this whole startup and venture capital world in Hungary, with many different venues, events, and even publications that help spread the word and to raise the quality of both the companies and the people dealing with these companies. So on the one hand, there is competition, but I'm quite optimistic that this ecosystem is going to increase the number of truly interesting companies out on the market.
Do you feel that the competition actually increased since the Jeremie-program?
Since it was, I would say, intensive before, I don't think it makes much of a difference that you have a few more funds on the market.
Mm-hmm. Sándor, what's your experience?
Basically, in 2009 and 2010, we came to an untouched market because early stage financing was not really over here. Most of the companies, almost all of them, they were doing larger scale investments, and almost nobody did early stage investments. So I think we have got more possibilities in 2009 and 2010 than those ones who are following us. However, I do believe that there is a need for Jeremie-2 and Jeremie-3. Our leads were quite strong in the years of 2010 and 2011. Like all venture capitalists, we also did a few mistakes. It's nature of our business. So if somebody says that we don't do mistakes, then we don't do our job properly. So that's why I said in the introduction that in 2012 we had to a little bit look back and look at our portfolio companies, how to support them further on, because otherwise the original idea of helping them to grow outside of Hungary won't be successful. So deal flow is there. I fear that is a bit less for us this year than the years before, but there are still enough opportunities for all parties who are in the market.
Sándor, do you consider the Jeremie-2 program, the funds are in as a direct competition?
I don't. Actually, I don't even know whether anybody did investments from Jeremie-2. So basically, we finish our investments within half a year, and Jeremie-2 and Jeremie-3 will really start from 2014 onwards. Of course, funds are on the market, but first they have to build up their deal flow, and we have got an advantage because of the past 3 years that we have seen many projects and we have good opportunities to invest in. And I think the two other Jeremie programs will really start boosting from the years 2014 onwards.
Yeah, we're talking a lot about, sorry.
Yes, that's what we have experienced, that there is a provisional lack of good projects for us on the market, but we consider that this shortage will be out next year when the Jeremie-2 companies will really start their operations.
We talked about this year and the plans for next year, but taking it into a bigger perspective, this ecosystem also needs many things before a company becomes available for VC money, and this is accelerator programs and incubation, which I personally feel that a lot of things happened in the 2 years, and we'll just start benefit from it. Actually, DBAH and Primus are among these 4 companies that actually did something very specific. Can you just give us a small background of the reason you started this?
Yeah, I think that having Jeremie-1 is really a good idea. I think we came across a lot of good investment opportunities, but that's not enough. You have to jumpstart the market, and we would, as Jeremie-1s, even be better off if there were some incubator programs already available, not just virtual incubator programs, but real business incubators. And I think that first part of the market was missing when we started, and we still believe that you have to educate and you have to bring up those startup investments to the level where they can become investable by Jeremie-1 and Jeremie-2 companies. So we also coupled it or paired up this concept with the concept is that these startups are working on in segments or in industries where being globalized is very important, and we try to join these two things and established our, let's say, business accelerator, which is called iCatapult, which is actually targeting these very promising companies at a very early stage, so that Jeremie wouldn't normally finance. And couple it with the idea is to get an early market feedback for them, not only from the local market but coming from the US. So we're trying to capitalize on our network in the US and maybe get a feedback, get mentors, get a real market response from the US market. So that's why we established iCatapult, and I hope iCatapult will grow up some companies that will become investable for Jeremie-2 as well.
Basically, we didn't start the incubator programs because of our fund. We started much earlier, end of 2005 when I came back from the Netherlands. Next year, we immediately started to look at possibilities, and from 2007 onwards, we set up 4 different incubator centers, serviced offices, one in Debrecen, in Miskolc, and here in Budapest. And basically that was one of the reasons why we decided to go for Jeremie, because we saw the opportunities for getting a stronger deal flow from our incubator centers. And we also wanted to go for Jeremie-2 for the seed fund, but we lost it. So we were not one of those lucky ones who got the fund management. But we still kept going on, and basically last year we started up a new facility here in Budapest, which is called Cowork, which is much more for co-working space, and the DB serviced office is there in close to Blahalújza tér, Kétli Anna tér van. So we are incubating and supporting companies in Budapest, Debrecen and Miskolc, and naturally it gives us a better deal flow. And the other important thing is that as the name DBH stands for Developing Bridgehead, we were actually setting up bridges in past years between East and West European companies, and we keep going on and do it. So our office is in Eindhoven is supporting the SMEs to go to the Netherlands and to Western Europe via this office. And we also set up our American bridge. We set up a San Diego office 2 years ago. So we are in both continents, and we are supporting our SMEs in both ways.
Ivan, I think for all of us that the largest challenge to support and accelerate our portfolio companies are making them international. What do you see what happened in the Budapest ecosystem? Do you benefit from it, or you have to support these aims by the fund management company itself?
Clearly, we benefit tremendously from the ecosystem that is being generated and being built, but that in itself is not enough. Of course, for us, and for all of us, it's very important to select companies with very strong managements who will be able to make the jump, because I think difficulty with Hungarian businesses that for them to be successful, they need to make the shift to outside of Hungary. So they need to become multinational, which is a very, very difficult process. And actually most companies are not able to make this jump. So we need to do everything that we can to help them. One thing that we've been doing, which seems to be quite much more useful than what we anticipated, is actually creating our own mini ecosystem. As I mentioned, we have 2 separate investment aims, and the companies who are in the same sector, we are encouraging a lot of communication among them, and actually some of them are even moving into a same office premise, and we find that is incredibly valuable, as they're able to exchange a lot of different experiences and even contacts, which seem critical to the success of these companies. The other thing that of course we're doing and is I think we're turning into HR specialists, because I think one of our main aims is to help these companies as they mature, to also find the management teams that are mature enough and have the gray hair and the experience, which is needed to be able to lead global companies.
Too early to ask, but by the end of 2015, the Jeremie programs will kind of not finish, but the capital has to be already allocated to roughly 200 startup companies, which obviously itself will have an effect. But what do you think after 2015? Will the EU will still have a role to continue that initiative, or what's maybe your private plans after 2015? Just as a last question, András.
I think the Jeremie is a good startup, good jump start to this industry, but certainly it has to return to the roots where it's purely a market-based fundraising and market-based funds doing market-based investments. And our strategy is basically to capitalize on what we have established. Obviously, we are looking forward to good portfolio performances, which is, I think, is a condition precedent to raising any new fund. But certainly, I think in our, let's say, not so long plans is to raise a new fund, which is not Jeremie-based. We try to get back to the original track, and also I think we need to move away a bit from the local market and become maybe a bit sub-regional. So that's probably something that we'll discuss and look into more details in 2015. The other issue that we have to really address is the fundraising market, which is, I think, as you all can experience, it's a very difficult market. I think Jeremie had the effect to suck out the local investment, the local high net worth individual and other type of monies from the market. Institutional market, we don't really feel that it would be particularly very strong. So the option is really to go outside and to set up something which is really credible. And Hungary, in this sense, I have to say that since I participated on the British venture capitalization program like 2 months ago, and we have to put it back to the market. And I think that we need to find and need to build a case for that. So that's the challenges that we have to face when we all want to return to the market. But as we can see some good examples, I think Jeremie provided us a good base and a good chance to do that.
So 2015 is a bit far off, and it's difficult to predict what will happen. I agree very much with András that the Jeremie programs, I think, have from an invest or a country perspective, I think, has done a lot of good, because it has really pushed smart money onto a lot of companies, which hopefully will continue to raise the standard among both companies and entrepreneurs, which I think provides a very good platform for future investing in Hungary and the region. We are hopeful that we will be able to take advantage of this through private institutional funds, or even currently we represent a family office, so we have non-Jeremie funds that we can also invest, and we're optimistic that we will be able to benefit from this. But again, given I think the state of many of the portfolio companies, 2015 will be hopefully a very busy year trying to exit from these companies.
I'm also not looking at after 2014 what will happen with the EU programs. If there will be any, it's fine. If not, it's also fine. I think we have to go on and invest as we do it today. And if we will get support from the Commission, it will be lucky for the market. But we are not there only for getting supported funds, but we are there to invest in SMEs. And as András said, and I also agree with Ivan, our focus is now on our current fund, and we have to do our best until 2014. And in the meantime, we are also doing fundraising softly, so we hope to have a new fund in 1.5 years or so. It's not easy to get the money together, but we hope to accomplish that in due course. So we will have also our private fund beside our Jeremie fund. So we hope to have further EU support for the Hungarian SMEs, but if there is no money anymore, then I think there will be still funds available and keep on going investing into Hungarian innovative SMEs.
Definitely, more and more exits will support all the fund management companies' activities, both in satisfying the current investors and convincing new investors after 2015. personally wishing good luck for the rest of this year as well. And thank you for everybody, and thank you for listening us.